Hey, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions. The title of today's segment, The Rim Shop. And not that type of rim. It's so nasty. This is a unit that I initially regretted buying. I got it at U-Haul. Open up the door and it's clearly a man's unit. There's crap all over the place. There's greasy tools. And when the door was opened, a bag full of lugs for your tire, they fell all over the floor and just rattled all over the place. There was only 5 of us there. Out of the 5, there was 3 chicks, and the chicks were like, oh hell no. So that left me and the old dude, and we're looking at the unit, and like I said, there's like gasoline jugs. There are 1-gallon milk jugs that are yellow because there's something in it, and there's clearly oil leaking from something. And he's looking at it and he's like, I don't know about this. And I'm thinking, okay, oil, lug nuts, there may be an engine in there. There could be, but it looked really, really unorganized. It looked like a room from hell. And being U-Haul, there could be a surprise. I started bidding off at $50. And dude was like, hey, I'm a man. I'm here. I'm going to bid. You get people like that don't know what the hell they're doing. And they're just like, I'm going to bid because he's bidding. That's what the case. I went 50. He went 60. Then I went 70. He went 80. And Dale was like, can we go? Can I get 100? And I'm like, he went 100 and I went 125. And then it was like 150 and on and on and on. So several bids later, and for $375, I have myself a room. I thought at $50, couldn't lose. But this is the power of, when there are folks there who, they're just like, hey, if he's bidding on it. So I get the room, put my lock on it, and there's this feeling of dread because I had a different kind of clientele. People buy different stuff based on who they sell to. And my clients weren't buying crap like that, but I was like, what the hell? You know what? If push comes to shove, I know a guy I can just sell it to. I'll just say, hey, $250 is yours. I'll take the $125 loss. Go up and pay, and this is at the last property of that day. And I have my truck, and I was like, I might as well just start loading this crap. And I really hated putting nasty stuff in the truck because typically you had to wash it out afterwards. Go to the car wash, because it just works out better that way to keep your vehicle clean. Because when you get some nice, clean, new stuff, the last thing you want to do is screw it up, loading it onto your truck. So I'm pulling stuff out, and it's just not looking good. I pull out some more stuff, more lug nuts just pop out all over the place. I'm like, shit, here we go. And this being U-Haul, and for those of you who are in Atlanta, I don't know if they do it at other properties, but U-Haul has a funny way of building units sometimes. Like you'll go in a room and it's supposed to be a 10 by 10. Sometimes it'll split off and it's a 10 by 10 with 10 by 10 here, 10 by 10. So it's like a 10 by 30 and that's a T. Or it'll go and hook to the left or the right on the L shape, which makes it like a 10 by 20, 10 by 25. And they're usually short. Well, I get in there and I'm pulling out stuff and I hit the wall and I see it hooks. I'm like, oh hell, more shit for me to haul. So after about 10 feet of crap, crap to me, I could sell it because in my mind I was like, hey, this may be 200, 250 in scrap because there was not one engine in there, there was 6 of them. But this is me being stupid. I'm thinking scrap. I didn't know what those engines were. So I got the engines and I've got them lined out because fairly strong, and I managed to muscle them up on my floats or the 4-wheel dollies. And this is something else. If you're gonna buy new dollies, get the heavy duty ones. Don't buy that crap from Uline or Granger. That stuff's cheap. It will break on you. But I got them there, and I've got 3 engines. And they're over there, and I'm covered in grease and stuff. But it didn't matter because everything in there was jacked up. Another tip: always carry a change of clothes with you when you're loading. At least a shirt, because it is nothing worse than going into a restaurant looking like a hillbilly. But if you're hungry, you'll just do it, or you may drive through McDonald's. But the thing is, if you're in a big truck, you still have to get out. So I'm in there pulling up the stuff, and then I hear some people, and they're like, damn, that's a 350 block. And I was like, oh hell, let me go out here. And there's this guy, he's loading up some stuff, and he's like, whoa, you got some nice engines here. And me, being ignorant, but I'm like, I'm not going to let on. Then at the point, I didn't know engines. How some people could look at the engine and tell you exactly what it is. That wasn't me. And I was like, yeah, nice engine. He's like, God, man, those usually run you $500-600. Really? And I have 3 of them. And I was like, oh yeah, if you were in the buying mood, what would you give me for all 3? He said, oh, yeah, $1,800, $2,000, easy. They're in great condition. This has been reworked. This has been changed over. This has been fixed. So at that point, talk to her a little bit. Then I go back in to the unit and do my little happy dance because I am thrilled now. I am extremely thrilled. I was like, oh, didn't know, had no clue. So at that point, I've just decided I'm gonna load them on the truck. So get the engines on the truck, and that's what I'm telling you. When you're by yourself, you figure out ways to load the truck. So I got the engines out all the way at the front of the truck, and I've got all of the junk that I'm gonna just pretty much kick off at the dump toward the end. So I'm going back in there, and I hit that L, and then there's all these cartons, nothing but cartons, and I was like, I don't know what that is. Those are rim boxes. Every box had a brand new rim in it. They weren't spinners, they weren't like high-end rims, but there was 25 complete sets of rims in those boxes. I was selling them for $250, $300. And this is like a unit that looked like hell. This is something that I initially did not want. But that's how it goes in the storage auction game. Sometimes you win, but if you know what you're doing, there's a lot of times that's how it goes in the storage auction game. Sometimes you lose, a lot of times you win. It all depends on if you know what you're doing. All right, this is Glendon. We're making money with storage unit auctions.